This is the Rastafari Samurai. Now prove this message nationwide. Down to Earth Podcast. Season 5. Yes, Season 5. We still alive. October 14th at 3 p.m. We have a special guest, Jamila.B. Don't miss it.
Here we go. This is the Rastafari Samurai. Never leaving you dry in your eye. I approve this message nationwide. Saying Down to Earth Podcast with my brother Shaun,
Blessings. My name is Shaun Myrie, and I'm your host of the Down to Earth Podcast alongside Rastafari Samurai. Introduce yourself to the universe.
Hi everyone. My name is Jamila.B, representing the pop and R&B in Steel City. So thank you for having me today.
It's a pleasure. So, I ask everybody, you've been doing music for a while. You love music. How long have you been doing your music for?
Oh gosh, I've been doing it, I would say 15, 17 years now.
Okay, so it's fair to say you're a veteran in the game, right?
Yeah, I'm a veteran in the game, I would say.
So how's the feedback ever since you came out or doing take it more seriously from your peers and people around you doing shows and stuff?
Yeah, I'm from Hamilton, so it's a very supportive city with a lot of artists. Like maybe Toronto people might not know them, but they have been really supportive since I've started till even to this day. Always doing a lot of shows in my city, and the love is always great. So everyone is just really supportive, encouraging, and yeah, that's the environment I'm in right now.
Okay, so what's your recent project? You've been I see the visual that's in the commercial. What's your recent stuff you've been coming out with recently?
Yeah. So this year I've released a couple songs. So in the beginning of the year, that was No Further with a little bit of an Afrobeat inspiration. And then after that was And I Wonder, that leaned more towards pop. And then I have a next song coming at the end of this month that's more like pop dance style. So I've just been kind of focusing on just doing the singles, every quarter or so, releasing a new song.
So what gave you the inspiration to really want to do this, the music and the passion? What gave you that drive to get into the music?
That's a great question. I've always wanted to do music since I was a young child. So it was actually just the sounds that humans could make out of their voices. So I was always intrigued about singing. But in the business side, I think it was more about learning about producers making different beats and the recording and bringing songs to life. So that creation part and working with people was what is a kind of the best part of music, and also performing, because you're providing an environment, you're sharing your creation, and you're also getting the love feedback from the people all in one space and one time.
So, if I may ask, what's some of your influences growing up in the music, genres? It could be any genre.
Yeah, I would say a lot of the new Jack Swing style, a lot of 90s. So I would throw in Mariah Carey, TLC, SWV, Toni Braxton, Whitney Houston, Michael Jackson. And then I just continue to stay inspired by artists that are more current than those too.
So I'm gonna ask you, because R&B has changed, or it's kind of been very quiet for a long time. The elimination of groups, female and male, and it's no one really understands or knows, especially the younger generation, about what R&B really is. How do you feel about how it's gone, that genre, because you do a lot of it? It's here, but it's not promoted as much.
Yeah, because there's so many different sectors of R&B. I'm slowly starting to notice a resurgence in that throwback sound. So I think artists are, and people who listen to the R&B are coming back to that. But I think it's just we're in a time where so much sounds are merging. You'll hear R&B, but you'll hear hip hop influences, and then you'll now with the Afrobeat scene, Afropops being merged into that. But I think people are craving that throwback sound that we've heard most in the 90s and maybe early 2000s. So I think it'll take its time, but I think it's going to come back for sure.
Have you ever performed? Because you mentioned you perform in Hamilton a lot. Have you ever
Mhm.
performed anywhere else, any other cities?
Oh yeah, I've performed in Toronto. Just in June, I was a part of Afrofest, so I
Hmm.
performed with
That's good.
a Toronto group called BTH Band. So that was pretty dope. And I've performed even out of the city, like went down to Detroit, Buffalo, different Brantford, which is kind of like Hamilton. So
Hmm.
different areas. I'm hoping now with this whole pandemic that we'll be able to like spread out even more because there's so much areas in Canada that needs to be covered that I would love to perform and that are probably like waiting for people to come down and visit them.
He kind of answered my next question, like how important it is for artists to actually leave their city and go to other markets. Like I want, like for you, like is your experience going out there now? Like, do you see like a difference that you could actually get more people interested into your art, what you put out?
Yeah, I think it's important for artists to expand out of your city because, especially if you're in a smaller city, because I do believe you can tap your city out, like if you're doing
Hmm.
a lot, unless you're
Yeah.
doing regular gigs. So I think it's important because sometimes being an artist in your own city, you may not necessarily have the people who are gravitating towards your
Hmm.
own sound, but maybe
True.
you'll go to London or Barrie or Ingersoll, and then there'll be like a whole cluster of people who are like, "Yo, we rock with you." So I think it's important if artists can to tour out, so you don't get jaded by, oh, no one supports me in my own city because the world is so big. Yeah.
So how's it you what do you see for like you yourself as a woman in music, and like how the industry is, they always with a lot of industries male dominated, but how do you feel it is in like right now for a woman in music?
That's a great question. For women in music, I think because I've been in this game for a while, so I've seen it where it was like purely male dominated. But I think especially in Canada, there's a lot of support, like Women in Music Canada, making awareness of bringing women at the forefront and not only being musicians, but like being engineers and producers. So it could be better with bringing more women out to the forefront, but I found that it's still been very supportive with like because I do work with a lot of males, especially with like producers and engineers.
Hmm.
But they support the movement. I just think we need to see more women in different roles, like the whole behind the scenes. That is a push. So I don't know if it's not the opportunities being happen or just not an interest, but there are programs that are happening. So yeah.
Would you like if you had any chance to collaborate with anybody dead or alive, like an artist what you look up to, or you really like their music, who would you want to work with if you had that chance to
Oh,
collaborate?
okay, I'll go with alive people. Um, I would love to work like producer wise and songwriter wise, like Babyface and Teddy Riley,
That's good.
because they've worked. As I said, I love New Jack Swing and I love like Tony Braxton, and those were the producers who really kind of were the pioneers of those sounds. So I think some good solid music could be made there. Artist wise, who? Yeah, I'm gonna throw Tony Braxton. That would be great. I would also like to work with um, Craig David. Uh, yeah, he was like very popular in the 90s to 2000, but I follow him and he's still doing music. And
Hmm.
I think he's someone who makes a consistent sound. So I really like to listen to UK music a lot. So
I know.
I think that would be.
I see. I hear that.
Oh, yeah.
I would say like if you could go back into the past and and fix anything to make like yourself go through certain doors, I would say. Do you feel that you could have done certain things like like certain steps to get like in the forefront?
That's a great question. Yeah, you're asking really great questions. Ooh, what would I do differently? I think I would the confidence that I have now, and still could get better. I think I would put that onto her in the past because I think there would probably be less moments where I was like, I want to give up on this dream, and I probably would have been more persistent instead of giving up. So if I
Hmm.
could go to the past it would be like for those moments where I was quitting and left music, probably like encourage her to keep going and keep that energy. And maybe I would be at a different spot now, but I've
Hmm.
accepted that this is the reality I'm in right now and just making the most of it now instead of being in a time of regret.
Hmm. Okay, that's good. A lot of people can't answer that question too easy, but yeah. So like, do you have any upcoming shows? Because a lot of people they've been like hungry to perform, who are real artists who like
Mhm.
to connect with the people. You have any shows coming up?
I do. I have one this Sunday. It's in Hamilton, so it's with the Afro Canadian Caribbean Association in partnership with the Art Gallery of Hamilton, where it's like a showcase of like Afrocentric art. So I'll be one of the performers on Sunday.
Mm, that's
Yeah.
good.
And then the next one is in November, which is pretty big for Hamilton. It's called, sorry, the lights went off. It's called Fresh Up R&B Festival. So it's like the
Mm,
first R&B festival in Hamilton that features a whole bunch of Southern Ontario acts like Savannah Ray, Dylan Sinclair. Then like we have Hamilton artists like Lucky Sticks, Queen C, a whole
mhm.
bunch of great artists. So it's a 2 day festival. So I'm looking forward to that one just to see how Hamilton responds to like a whole R&B festival.
I'm gonna ask you this question. I don't really ask too much people this question, but I think some people should get this answer from the black community. I'm gonna be straight up. Do you
Okay.
feel for all art, all artists and music, that, and especially being a woman, right, a black woman, that it's different compared to everybody else in the music industry when you're trying to do your business and you're trying to be accepted in the market?
Mm. Wow, that's a very good question. Okay. I Yes, of course. I will say yes. It is different. Um, I'll hit you with real, and then because I always
Yeah,
like to lean towards
yeah,
positive. So
yeah. Go ahead.
yes, it is. The reason why it's different is because even though there's so many black artists like ourselves at the forefront, sometimes it's not us with our skin color making the decisions that open the doors of opportunities. So there's gatekeepers, or you may have to know someone,
Yep.
and it's kind of like generational with all these connections. And if you come from a background where you didn't have a silver spoon or you don't have connections, it's kind of
Hmm.
hard to knock those doors down. Now, what's different right now, I would say, is it's bittersweet. We've noticed an uptick of organizations wanting more black artists, but it was because of the whole George Floyd and all that craziness that happened during the
Hmm.
pandemic that people were like, oh, we got to bring more black people to the front. We want a BIPOC, where it almost
Hmm.
has become a trend. So
Yes.
like, okay, I've even myself, I noticed, okay, I'm getting more opportunities, but
Yes.
sometimes in the back of my mind, I'm like, yo, how long is this going to last? Or is this here to stay? So
It's true.
that's the thing. So it's just like, okay, we can look at it like, uh, mm, you only want me to fill a quota, maybe,
Hmm.
or okay, this door is open. Let me take what I can. Let me do what I can. But the good thing you have to, and the best thing to do is also while these opportunities are coming, look around and see who's in your camp, who's around you to be like, okay, let me help you now because I got this opportunity. I don't know how long I have it, but let's give this out, let's give this out, and let's like grow together during this.
I see what you're saying. I call it the bandwagonist. I
Mm.
feel that same thing is happening with Canada, aka Toronto, because of Drake and because of Tory Lanez and a lot of these big stars now, which finally we're getting our, Canada's getting noticed because of pop artists like those guys. So now everybody's looking for everybody from
Hmm.
Canada. Who's the next Drake and who's the next Tory Lanez, and the list goes on. Who's the next Weekend? But how long would it last for? You're right.
Yeah.
Example, until you can't rely on that anymore. That you really have to put in the work and do things yourself, because that's what's going on right now. A lot of
Hmm.
people are using, which I can't blame them, they're using the superstar status of who's successful in the world or America from here to, and everybody's jumping on anybody who's coming out, I feel, from Canada now, bad or good. So it's like you gotta really do your research for like the real artists like yourself who's been working hard, because now there's people, you know how the internet is. I feel there's a lot of people just coming through the door and not necessarily doing that, working as hard as you have. You know what I mean? There's someone who could come 2 months from now and they're big.
Yeah, that's true. So and that's why we're in a great age right now with having the internet, that it kind of knocks down those doors. Now, you may not get to that like super altitude, but it's probably more than, let's say, 20 years ago, where we're literally on like downtown in front of Eaton Center trying to sell mixtapes. Done it,
Yeah.
been there, and whatnot. And so the fact that I can reach more people that I haven't before. But yeah, there's still a challenge. Like I can't be like forever positive. Like there's realness. Like there's only so much I can do as one person. So,
But you're right. You're right. You're getting more attention because I think it's the time of the ladies. I've been saying this for a while. People want to see more versatility, and there's only been a certain few women who have come through on the like urban music on the high platform, and now I think it's like a trend, especially to get like artists such as yourself out there, even though you deserve everything. But now you're seeing it. You're seeing people be calling you probably for all these different events, interviews too, after you see more. And yeah, it is true. That's what's going on. But I would like to ask you, is there any other genres you would like you play with? Like I would say, have you done dancehall, reggae, jazz, or a little rock? Have you any interested in ever doing something like that?
I would.
Experimenting?
I would. Like someone told me recently, they're like, your voice could probably be on, you could do any genre you wanted. So I've done a bit. Like I've done the reggae. Like, that's because of my mom. She's like, please do reggae. So like there was a bit where I was doing that for a bit. And like there was a time where I was doing like dance, like electro.
Yeah.
And I've been in a soca band.
Yeah.
Don't ask me why, because like my personality is not like, you know me personally, is like, oh, you're a square. Like, why are you in a soca band? But I've been in a soca band. And I have been like, I have done jazz before. So I think the next thing I want to do, lately I've been saying, I was like, yo, let's try country. But
Country?
I'm like a little nervous because I'm like, I don't know the history. And I'm like, I don't want to like, can I create their music? But
Don't matter.
Do a fusion.
You got the tone, you got the voice. Don't matter.
Thanks.
Yeah.
So I would like to try country next. Yeah, that would be the next thing I'd probably try. Like meet the right people who can make it authentic, so it's just not me forcing a twang or something like that.
Are you trying to come out with more like visuals? Do you feel that's very important now? Like I feel that's very important nowadays. Like you have this video out. Are you going to continue like bringing more visuals to your music?
Oh yes, because like my background is like video editing, so it's kind of weird how I don't have like a plethora of videos. So so we are planning to, as I'm talking to a director who's like, I want to shoot the video for And I Wonder. So we're gonna plan on doing that, and then the song I'm releasing in 2 weeks. Like I'm already thinking of, okay, what can we do? Where can I find places? So yes, the answer is yes.
Start the storyboard, girl. Just start the storyboard.
Yeah, exactly.
All you gotta do, you know.
Yeah, no, definitely.
So like I would say if you could have any power, because this is a new part of the segment we're adding, or if you know about Marvel comics or DC.
I just watched She-Hulk yesterday.
So what character would you want to be? She-Hulk? The She-Hulk? I didn't know.
I watched that today. The episode today. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Did you just start it, or you're already
No. I'm up to date.
Okay. So you just watched the last one. Yeah, I just watched the last one yesterday. Yeah, I love watching Marvel.
That's good, so you know.
Okay. Team Marvel, huh? Don't get me wrong. I'm Team Marvel, but I still watch DC as well.
Okay.
But Marvel's my favorite.
So which character would you want to be? Like you would be, like if you could identify with one of them.
Ooh, which one would I want to be? Not Hawkeye. I don't want to shoot arrows. I feel like, okay, I don't know which power, but I can tell you who I feel like I relate to. I feel like I relate to the Hulk because he is so kind, and
I see what you're saying.
when he gets vexed, it's
so
like
powerful.
this, but that's like I don't want to scare people. Like that's very rare, but I feel like if
You're
we
pretty
were
much
to,
saying maybe like you're powerful with your voice in a sense.
oh, I
Yeah.
like that. I like that. You know what? That's a great analogy because yes, that's perfect. because you wouldn't expect it. Well, I've been
Yeah.
told you wouldn't expect it, and then when people hear me, they're like, "Yo, I didn't expect that coming out from you." So
Yeah, because I bet you're short and petite, aren't you?
yeah, I'm 5'3". Is that short?
All right, no, but when you start being on that stage, you take it,
Is it
don't
like
you?
the Incredible Hulk?
All right,
Yeah,
then.
I
So
do.
there you go.
So is the Hulk. Wait, what about you two? What would be yours?
Man, I have a lot. You know what? Because I have the tattoo, I'm gonna be straight up.
Yo.
Superman.
Okay.
Right? Superman's one.
Mm-hmm.
I know I have one who's like a bat. He's very. You know what? It's hard. The second one. I like Batman. Batman, Superman, and for Marvel, Wolverine and Punisher.
Oh.
Wolverine and the Punisher
Okay.
for Marvel. I like the Punisher.
Okay.
Because he's not going by no system.
Mm.
That's the thing. He's
By
going
own rules.
his own rules.
Oh.
You know what I mean? And he's a threat. He's a threat to everybody.
Anti-hero.
And Samurai, what's yours?
Me, I would have to say, well, when it comes to Marvel, Spider-Man has been always my favorite.
I know that.
You know what I mean? Because he's comedic and he likes to have his hustle on at the same time, put them
I know.
pictures up, I'll be saving the world
Oh,
and stuff,
yeah.
right? So, 2 in 1.
Okay. I like that.
Yeah.
I like how everybody didn't just do it because of the power they had, but how it related to your
no.
core.
It's better that way. When it's more
Yeah.
related to your decor, there's more purpose.
That's true.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that's why I picked Superman, right? And Batman because they like to save people, right? And after then, Wolverine and Punisher are they're more aggressive. So that's like the
you
defense.
The opposite of each
My
one.
defense, yeah,
It's like-
the
it's
defense
like-
side.
It's like the opposite of each one. Anti-heroes and heroes. You know what
Because
I mean?
Wolverine, you could hurt him, but he could heal back very fast.
Regenerate.
He's
Yeah.
coming back.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So that's how I put
Sure.
it.
Definitely.
So wait, who did you say the Incredible Hulk?
Mhm.
So like She-Hulk, almost like She-Hulk now.
No,
Incredible Hulk?
no. I feel like she still needs to build and learn herself.
He's
So-
saying Hulk because Hulk, he's smart and he's aggressive when.
But timid. He's nice and he's peaceful before he gets into that,
Yeah.
breaks out.
Exactly.
I
Yes.
see.
Exactly. But hey, could you tell everybody where all your digital platforms and all that? Remind the people. Tell them.
Tell them.
Know.
Oh, yes. So y'all can find me. I'm on Instagram, so that's Jamila Online. If you're on Facebook, you can just put the same thing. You can find me on YouTube. I have a TikTok, but to be honest, I am not on it like that. So I'm an Instagram, Facebook person.
Yeah.
And that's the best way. Or you can just go to the main portal, www.Jamila.B.com, and then you can just make your selection there.
I'm gonna ask you one more question.
Yeah.
If you could give any artist advice who finds it hard to try to break in and do music, or they're feeling frustrated because they don't know what to really do, what advice would you give a young artist?
Okay. So if they're frustrated and not knowing what to do,
Yeah.
I would say one of my advice is learn the business, because I can't teach you how to create and make a song. That's from your soul. So if you want to take it seriously, I would say learn the business first. If you're Canadian, find out what SOCAN is, what they do for you. Learn about royalties. Learn about your rights. Learn how to protect yourself in the industry.
I'm glad you said that. I'm really glad.
No, I want to hear more. I want to make her keep going.
I have to say that because a lot of artists don't know all of that. What she said.
No, but that's why I want to make hers.
No. What did I say? I'm giving her props.
Thank you.
Continue on.
Yeah. When I meet new artists, I'm very surprised of how many don't know about it. And then after, my next thing is go to the webinars and conferences that these organizations are offering. Usually they're all free, and it's a way just to network and meet other people who are like-minded like you, and also for you to get familiar with the staff there. Because if you don't have connections, then you won't get the opportunity. So like Bob can't say like, oh yes, I met this artist, let me put you on a show. And then I guess my third thing is, I understand there's different types of artists, but if you're the type of person who does want to perform, I would say do whatever performance you can to start yourself up, but don't stay there.
Yes.
Try to get to a next level each time, to a point where you can get compensated for your talent, so you're not just stuck in the same circle, and expand out. And then my fourth one is, when you do these shows, promote yourself. Don't just say your name. Like at my last show, I had these little anime stickers, and I had my girl just hand them out to the audience, and that's how you can get people to follow you and whatnot. Sorry, I love like marketing and stuff, so I can go bliss so much.
That's good.
But if anyone needs any information or advice, please feel free to contact me. Like, I'd love to let you know what's in my mind and share on how you can like get yourself started. Yeah.
You dropped some gems, so yo, thanks for coming through, Jamila.B.
Before we sign off, give us a shout out if you can. Down the Earth podcast here.
Yo, this is your girl Jamila.B. You are listening to Down to Earth podcast with your boys Shaun, Myrie, Rastafari, Myrie, dropping those hits.
You're good.
Definitely. So I can always say, we always sign off like this. This is Rastafari, Samurai, never leaving you dry. I approve this message nationwide. Thank you for being on Down to Earth podcast. It's been a pleasure, my dear.
Bless up, Jamila.B.
Thank you for having me.
Much respect. Shaun, Myrie, Down to Earth.
We signing out.